Hello everyone. Welcome to PassionWaterTarot. It's me, Mama Do. Alright, this is reading number 3 for Missing Person today. And this one, they're all heartbreaking. But if you know anything about this young lady, please notify the authorities. If you know anything about the suspect, the person of interest in this case, please notify authorities. Alright? So, let me change the page. Wendy Kathleen Claire, and if I say this last name wrong, forgive me, I'm trying really hard. Hudakoc, Hudakoc, Hudakoc. She's been missing since November the 15th, 1998. A long time. 24 years now. Excuse me, 23 years now. She's missing from Naples, Florida. She's considered endangered missing. Of course, she's a female. She's white. And her date of birth is August the 12th of 1984. She would be 37 years old now. She went missing when she was 14 years old. Standing 5'6" and weighing 130 pounds. So let's ask Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels, and ancestors to come into this reading for love and light, to provide the highest level of clarity to those receiving messages, and ask that chakras be open to allow those messages to be received with ease. Okay. Now, before we get deeply into Wendy's case, I want to point out 2 things, please. First one is, please take a moment and go hit that subscribe button and then hit the all word so that you receive notifications when future readings are uploaded and available. Mercy, somebody's in a really loud motorcycle around here. Can you hear it? They're not even on my street. But boy, that's a loud motorcycle. They got some loud pipes. I hear loud pipes save lives. Alright, so thank you for taking a moment to go subscribe. The second thing I want to point out to you all, and it's a reminder because it's listed below. Under no circumstance will I ever expect or request financial reimbursement or financial gain from anyone involved in these missing persons or criminal case readings. These are a gift from Spirit. Period, point blank. Do I do readings for a fee? Yes, I do. If you come to me, if you send me an email to PassionWaterTarot@gmail.com and you want a love reading, you want an education reading, you want any kind of a forecast, a personal forecast, I do charge for those. But not for missing person readings or follow-ups. I do not charge for criminal case readings. These are a gift from Spirit to help to bring closure and comfort to the families and those investigating these cases, okay? So let's get back to Wendy's case. Because Wendy's case seems to just keep going on and on and on. She was last seen wearing a red, white, and blue tank top and blue jeans. She's a Caucasian female with light brown hair, hazel eyes. She has a small strawberry birthmark on the back of her neck and a scar on her left hand. She wore braces on her top and bottom teeth at the time of her 98 disappearance. Her ears are pierced. The left one is pierced twice. Now, what happened? Well, her parents, her mother and stepfather were out of town when she disappeared from her hometown of Naples, Florida, on November the 15th of 1998. Her stepfather had a co-worker stay at the house to watch Wendy, who was 14, and her 16-year-old sister while they were out of town. And the girls had a female friend spending the night as well. Wendy got a phone call. This video I watched where the sister was interviewed said the phone call came in about 9 p.m. She remembers it was 9 p.m. because it was their phone cutoff time. They're not supposed to have phone calls after 9. And she really wanted that phone call to happen and get over with so Wendy wouldn't get in trouble. Then Wendy and everybody went to bed. She tried to convince her sister and their friend to join her, but they said no. So at about 11 o'clock at night, she snuck out of her bedroom window to attend a party. That's where she was supposed to be going. And the other girls didn't want to go because they didn't want to go hang out with a bunch of 14-year-olds because, hey, they're 16, okay? And you know 16-year-olds don't hang out with 14-year-olds. What kind of world is this? So Wendy took her stepdad's pager with her and told her sister, if anything happens, call me, page me if there's any trouble. And I'll either be home or call you within 10 minutes. She didn't take no clothes, no makeup, no personal belongings, and she left a candle lit in the window. She never returned home and has never been heard from again. So the next day, the sister called the parents and let them know that, hey, Wendy didn't come home last night. And they come home and they get the police involved and they find out what's going on, and everybody determines Wendy went to the party with a 20-year-old man named Ronald DePeppo, whom she'd met a month earlier at a bowling alley. DePeppo had called Wendy's house shortly after he met her, told her stepfather he was 18. Stepfather told him, well, Wendy's only 14. What are you doing calling a 14-year-old? Don't ever call her again. Well, that did not discourage DePeppo, who, by the way, has a history of getting in relationships with underage girls. A lot of immature people do that. It makes them feel more superior. They're absolutely not more superior. But he didn't have a serious criminal record. Now, it's reported because they went to the party, they went to where the party was held, and the witnesses said that Wendy and DePeppo left the party between 2 and 2:30 a.m. in his 91 Mazda. DePeppo told the police that Wendy got a page. Really? Who knew she had the pager? Why would she give the pager number to her friend so she could get in trouble with her stepdad later on about it? She wasn't supposed to have his pager. The only person that should have been paging her was her sister. But anyway, DePeppo told him Wendy got a page. And they thought they had a payphone at the corner of Airport Road and Davis Boulevard so she could make a call. said afterwards she asked him to take her home because she planned to meet somebody named Jeff. He said the last time he saw her was when he dropped her off at her house at about 2:45 a.m. The sister and the friends said they don't have no friend named Jeff, and they certainly don't know of anybody named Jeff that their sister knew. Then to Peppo, the rest of his story. He seems a little anxious, okay? Because then says he spent the rest of the night with his friend Johnny Walker. Well, Walker said that Peppo left his house at 11 p.m. between 10:30 and 11 p.m. on November the 15th, and said he was going to go pick up a girl. And he didn't return until 9 a.m. the next morning and told him he had been out with Wendy. So then DePeppo's girlfriend stated he had asked her to lie and say he had been with her on the night Wendy disappeared. But she didn't lie either for him. So Peppo's trying to come up with all these different alibis, and nobody's got his back. Nobody is willing to lie for him for this, okay? Which is kind of amazing because that Walker dude has some pretty big crimes on him, and he's only 17 years old. Now, next thing that happens with DePeppo is December the 1st, his car was destroyed in a fire. Authorities concluded the blaze was an accident caused by a dropped cigarette. This was DePeppo's explanation, with a witness vouched for it. The witness was Walker, the 17-year-old. DePeppo turned the charged vehicle over to authorities for forensic processing, but the analysis didn't turn up any evidence. It had all been burnt away if there was anything there. DePeppo did cooperate in the beginning with the authorities, but then he hired an attorney and refused to answer any further questions or take a polygraph. Wendy's immediate family have all passed polygraphs and have been ruled out as suspects. Where am I getting this information from? Charlie Project. DePeppo was never identified as a suspect in Wendy's disappearance, although investigators say they were looking at several persons of interest. Walker, who is now a registered sex offender, is also considered a person of interest in this case. In 1998, he told police he did not know Wendy and had never met her, but 20 years later, in a media interview, he said he knew Wendy and that she and DePeppo were dating, which contradicted DePeppo's statement that prior to the night of her disappearance, he and Wendy had never gone out together. Well, DePeppo's got so many lies going back and forth with different people that nobody can keep up. And the investigators are just having to chart the newest lie. Wendy was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. She and her family moved to Naples when she was in middle school, and at the time of her disappearance, she was a freshman at Naples High School. In 1998, an honor student who was enrolled in advanced classes, and she was also a member of the local softball team. Yeah, she had a little wild spurt about her, but she was a good student, she was smart, and she was respectful at home. She just did have a wild spurt about her. Now, since her disappearance, records show she hasn't applied for a driver's license or gotten a job since she went missing. She had run away once before for only about 1 day, and although authorities initially thought she left on her own accord when she disappeared in 1998, they now believe she could be deceased. On her 21st birthday in 2005, which was 16 years ago, Her family had a memorial service for her in a Toronto church and placed a memorial marker in the city's Queen of Heaven cemetery. And let's add a little bit more sadness to the story. Wendy's mother died of cancer in 2013, 8 years ago. And Wendy was listed as a survivor in her obituary. Her sister and stepfather are still alive and hope she will be found and that her case can be solved. What a story. What a web. Let's see what happened the day that Wendy vanished. So she was known to be safe and well until the next morning, during the night. Sometime they left the party. Hold on there. They left the party, it said, between 2 and 2:30 a.m. So that is now the 16th. She left her home on the 15th and was seen on the 16th between 2 and 2:30 a.m. So sometime after that, something very heavy occurred. The first card out of this reading for what happened to Wendy when she vanished is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Not able to turn back the hands of time. Being in a situation that you have no control over. You would like to change the outcome, but that would mean changing the beginning of it. Five of Pentacles in reverse. And the Ace of Swords in reverse. Being very this was not done by just one person. Five of Pentacles. That's not alone. There was more than one person involved. And this was trickery. This was a diabolical scheme. Misleading somebody to believe that they were safe when they weren't. Wanting them to think that this was their dreams come true. Yeah, baby, right? This is everything you ever wanted. This is the fantasy. This is the adventure. Seven of Cups in reverse. It's really not. Wow. We have a lot of cups out here. And Seven of Cups in reverse is seeing the truth. Seeing past the illusion. Clearing the air. And realizing the danger that you're in. Justice in reverse. Somebody doesn't fear justice. They don't. They don't. They're not concerned with the cost of justice. They feel that they are above it. They feel that they can overcome it, the magician. They feel that they are deserving of what they want, their desires. the Fool in reverse. So they're taking their time. They're not rushing. They're taking their time to fulfill their fantasy, to do what they want to do against somebody else's will. The Hangman in reverse. Strangulation. The act of causing the breathing to be struggled, to not be able to get a breath. Six of Cups in reverse. Realizing they were never your love. They were never your person. They were wearing a false mask. Wow. It's as if she's been set up for this. That this was a planned event. That she would be given alcohol. But she was beautiful. Queen of Wands. This person saw her as very beautiful, very appealing. And they wanted her. They wanted to take advantage of her. This is a lot of information, Spirit. Where is she at? Two of Wands in reverse. The High Priestess in the upright. The Nine of Wands in reverse. And the Nine of Pentacles in the upright. Okay. So, we have a bridge. Two of Wands. We have a pathway or bridge. It feels more like a pathway that ends. Into a wooded area. And there's a lot of blood there. Somebody is living their fantasy, living their plan, living in the moment, the here and now, and they're taking their time with it. They're this feels so sick. They're taking their time to enjoy the suffering. Nine of Wands in reverse. Suffering. They're taking their time to cause more suffering. And they told somebody about this. That's very common. This could be the other person that's with them. He is showing up as a female, but these are tarot cards, so it can absolutely be a male. But this person felt like they took part in the demise of Wendy, but they don't feel that they really had any responsibility regarding it. They didn't trick her to go there. And she was in such a stupor from whatever drugs or alcohol she had been given that she pretty much agreed to what this person wanted to do to her. This is person number 2, not person number 1. Number 1 took a lot of thrill in wanting her to suffer. Please clarify the 7 of Cups in reverse, Spirit. Strength in reverse. Recognizing what predicament you're in. I do believe that Wendy, before things got too out of hand, realized she was in grave danger and realized that she had no way out. There was nobody there that was going to help her. And she felt very shaken by that revelation. Spirit, where is Wendy? Where can we find evidence to where Wendy is located? It's like a side story. There's several cards here. The Queen of Wands is out again, yes, because they did see her as someone who they were very attracted to, very much attracted to. They saw her as someone who had opportunities that they were not given. The 8 of Wands in reverse. They weren't interested in her mind, in her brain. They were only interested in their sexual desires that really had nothing to do with her either. Knight of Swords. And so they pursued on her. It was as if she was, what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? Pounced on. Like an animal, a predatory animal would pounce on its victim. Okay? The King of Pentacles in reverse. King of Pentacles in reverse. Not sure how to, they really don't know how to make the police stop bothering them. That's why he hired an attorney. 6 of Pentacles in reverse, because he felt very imbalanced. Because they were coming at him constantly because of the different stories that he was telling people and trying to get these conflicting alibis going. And 10 of Swords in reverse, trying to stop them from figuring out what he did, where he put her, how he hurt her. Was this person alone that hurt Wendy? I know you are giving me one card to say that he wasn't alone, Spirit, but confirmation. Was this person that hurt Wendy, was they alone? No. The Empress in reverse. No, they weren't. They were not independent. They were not. There was somebody else there. This was a joint effort. And I don't get it. I'm never going to get it because my mind doesn't work like that. But how does two people from different walks of life meet up and decide to start talking about how they have fantasies to kill people? How do you do that? I don't get it. Tell me, explain it to me down in the comments because I don't get it. I don't care if I want to go rob the store up the street. I'm not going to get with somebody and start talking about wanting to rob that store. So I don't get it. I don't understand that way of thinking. But this person was not alone. Is Wendy buried on private property? Is she buried, period? Is she underground? Queen of Cups in reverse? No, she's not. She was laid out. So that's going to make it even more difficult. Queen of Cups. Was she put in water? Underwater. Underwater. Was Wendy put in water? Ace of Wands in reverse. And the Three of Swords in the upright. She is not buried. She may be near a wet water area. It does look like that. And it looks like there's quite a bit of trees. But they're kind of barren right now because of the season. So there's a lot of exposure. Now this should not be that hard to locate because she had braces on her teeth, okay? That just stand out of seeing the metal on the ground. And the Three of Swords in the upright. That's the braces. That's the metal on the braces. It's going to stand out in the search. That's interesting. So what's the most likely outcome? No, Spirit says not yet. Alright, Spirit. Is the Peppo involved in this disappearance of Wendy? Oh, several ones. The World in reverse. The person shouldn't have been there. The person shouldn't have been involved with Wendy. The Knight of Wands, they were in and out energy. Playboy, Playgirl, the Tarot. Three of Swords in reverse. They were looking for any love they could find. And not a love. Does that make sense? They were looking for the next, latest, and greatest thing. Four of Cups. But they didn't want to hook up in a permanent relationship because the person had a girlfriend. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. They are not stable. Mentally, emotionally. They're just really... They have some very awkward ways of thinking. There's some anxiety going on here. Is Walker involved in the disappearance of Wendy? King of Wands in reverse. It really wasn't his cup of tea at the time. She didn't fight back. She was, whether it was alcohol, whether it was drugs, whether she received a party hit, she didn't fight him back. And that's where his fantasy lies, according to the cards. And that is clarified by, yeah, 4 of Wands in reverse. It didn't bring him the excitement that he wanted from the resistance of somebody that he was taking advantage of. She was too passive at the time because of her state, her stupor that she was in. So I do believe Walker is involved here because he's got a lot of information in just those 2 cards regarding what condition Wendy was in when she was taken away from that party. Did this happen at Walker's home? The Lovers. And that is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. Wow. The Lovers. Taking her back to take advantage of her in the home. But she has had so much that she can't even resist. It did take place in a home. If the police have access to Walker's home at the time, it would be ideal to go in and see if there's any blood marks anywhere. But I believe she was strangled during being raped. Or during the times when DePeppo was hurting her. It was a very uncomfortable situation this poor child ended up in. So what's the most likely outcome of this reading? Judgment in reverse. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. Judgment in reverse says there's not. Somebody's not looking at this picture clear. Somebody's not looking at the evidence clear. They're giving somebody too much benefit of the doubt. They're saying too many years have passed to worry about digging back into it. No, it hasn't been too many years. Wendy deserves justice. Wendy deserves to come home. Not just a memorial up for her in Toronto, but actually her remains being brought back and buried correctly. So whatever detective, whatever investigator, whatever person thinks that, it's just going to bypass time. No, it's not. She deserves justice. Yeah, she was a 14-year-old girl. She made a mistake. She trusted somebody she shouldn't have trusted. But damn it, guess what? She's not the first 14-year-old to make that mistake, and she's not going to be the last. And one of the best ways to stop it is to stop these predators from being on the street. I'm going to get off my pedestal. For all those invested in this reading, quotes to meditate on. No matter how many excellent deeds you may have performed for 1,000 eons, such as generosity or making offerings to the Buddhas, they all perish in one fit of anger. And they all perish when you decide to let one wrong go unpunished. So let's see what the synopsis for this reading is. I say it all the time. Do you need a new notebook? Send me an email. PassionWaterTarot@gmail.com. Give me the address. I'll send you the new notebook to start all over with this investigation. She deserves justice. And somebody thinking that it's too late to bring justice, you're wrong. How many other people has these two people hurt that has not been captured yet? Not enough. Frustrated in a relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. There was a lot of that going on back in 1998. So what is the romance card for this reading? Unrequited love. Boy, damn it, is that not the truth? Because she really liked this guy. She trusted him. She thought it was for real. For real, for real. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. That's right, there wasn't. But she was 14, and she didn't realize the nightmare she had climbed into by climbing out of her bedroom window that night. The Archangel card for the reading is Indigo and Crystal Children. Yes, she's 14. Wendy is still a child. She will forever be 14 years old. She will forever be a child. Archangel Metatron. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. She was sensitive. Very, very sensitive. And she took people for what they said. She took them for face value. She didn't recognize that some of the biggest monsters that she would ever meet would be standing face to face with her in the daylight. So, the card of advice for Spirit, for everyone invested in this reading, is the Ice Queen. Ideals, persevere, non-action, and entitlement. Ideals, persevere. Move forward. Start over. Your best foot forward would be to start over. Was there any other fingerprints on that window that day? Did he come to the window and help her out? I mean, he admits he was with her and then she disappeared. Never to be seen again. Non-action. Sit back. Study the case. Study every document you have on the case. Interview everybody again. And then you take their entitlement of these suspects and you squish it. Because her family and Wendy have entitlements too. They're entitled to justice. Alright, I'm going to get off of here. I'm sending you all my love and light for the hard times, the struggles that you've all been through, whether your family, your friends, your soul tribe, even if you're in the investigators and the detectives. But whatever you do, you remember, under no circumstances will I ever expect or request any kind of financial gain for these missing persons and criminal case files readings, okay? Anything I can do to help you all, I'll be more than happy to do so from Spirit. Don't forget to go subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow, and I'm very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you amazing people. So, I'll talk to you later. Namaste.